Bang! Yeah, 713-07 this league, throwing rocks at the backboard. Living our dream, better dribble to the three, take the shot, here a cash short. And we don't even care what you say, we ain't scared of the hate, get a win in this last board. Stand in the paint, better clear out the way, hit the court with the black force energy. Every single week on a killing spree, you kidding me? You talk about winning with the epitome, you better be talking with peace and we locking the key on them. Know that it's rocking with Ryan and Donte, the drip guy we beyond the gossip, the topics we talk on a pop and we conquering the obstacles that we cross as a team. Shot from the seats, we the Rockets like Elon. It's the H-Town rundown. Let's get started right now.
Well. Welcome back, Houston Nation. We got a big panel here, as you see. I'm your host, Preston. You can follow me at _JAWG on X. This is H-Town Rundown, Houston Rockets basketball podcast. Follow us on X as well. AD, Donte, AK, and Chris are here with me today. Let's start with AD, man. What's good, man? What's good? We got some good news.
Lovely day. It's the start of free agency. Houston Rockets.
We got a lot to talk about. AD, where can we follow you, my brother?
Right here at the H-Town Rundown. Yeah. See it right there. Right, it's on there.
Donte, man, it's good to have you, my brother. A lot of Rockets news to break today. How are you, and where can we follow you, man?
I'm doing awesome, man. We're already off to a very good start. But y'all can find me at that Rockets got Coach Donte. Y'all can find me right here. My guys.
Hell yeah, it's good to have everybody here today. And from the Rockets Round Robin crew, we got Mr. Sir Gorman, Clip Gorman. Thank you for joining us today. What's good, man?
Hey, man, good things happening. Rockets basketball on the skyrocket, right? Looking good, feeling good, ready to talk some Rockets ball. It's been a while.
Awesome, man. I love to hear it. Guys, is that better for my mic? Does that sound a little bit more clear?
Yeah.
He said, yeah. Speaking of the man, the myth, the legend himself, AK, my brother from Rockets Round Robin. What's good, man?
What's happening, y'all? Y'all can find me on Twitter /X at AKinfinity_VVS. Also on YouTube at Rockets Propaganda Channel and the Rockets Round Robin channel. I am the leader of the Championship or Bust Brigade. The one and only leader of that. Theories will be tested. Hold on. Theories will be tested, and proof of concept is on the way. Let's get it. I can't wait to have a parade in Houston again.
Yeah. Speaking of a parade, before we got a lot to talk about here, but we have like actual breaking news to kind of discuss here. AD, man, you wanna break the news for us? What just happened?
Right now, breaking news. Houston Rockets. Every time it's free agency has started. So every time there's a major move, a Houston Rockets move, we will play that noise, so we will talk about it. But the Houston Rockets have signed free agent forward Dorian Finney-Smith to a 4-year, $53 million deal, reported by Shams Charania. How you say it? Charania? There we go. And 3-and-D wing, a guy who the Rockets have been rumored about signing for like the last 2 weeks. When they couldn't wait to jump on and get some Finney-Smith in the system.
Yeah, some BFS.
God, dog, that was terrible.
Well, let's talk about it. How do we feel about the signing?
I'm cool with it. I love it. Everybody, look. I love it because they have a clear plan of what they want to do, and they're taking it into fruition. So I kind of like the move because, again, they talked about they wanted to replace Dillon Brooks, and he's a guy that fits the exact mold of replacing Dillon Brooks. Okay. And it's not a bad contract. I mean, 13 and a quarter. That's not bad.
Money-wise, right? Especially compared to Dillon, who was making 20-ish, right? That's definitely something to consider as well. We're talking about DFS, rebounding, shooting. AK, man, what are your thoughts? Breaking news here. How do you like DFS? How do you like his fit to discuss, how do you like his fit next KD?
That man is definitely a Udoka guy through and through, bro. He's going to make very little mistakes. He's going to play his role to a T. He's athletic, long wing who can fit that switch everything scheme on defense. And I feel like, yeah, as much as he a Dylan Brooks replacement, in theory, I guess, I think his fit is probably going to be a lot better because he going to play his role all the time and he ain't going to forget who he is. So, man, let's get it. Let's get it. This championship a buzz, man. Let's get it.
Championship or bust. Okay. D. What do you think, man? What do you think, Donte?
Man, I like this move, man.
Oh, you talking about me or AP?
Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Coach.
Like it's a good move. Excellent Dylan Brooks replacement. Someone that don't step out his comfort zone. Who doesn't worry about his offensive game unless he's shooting the ball, unless he's shooting the ball. And he's a great defender. He's a hell of a defender. He can block shots as well. You can also use him on switch on pretty much any guard. Like I say, in his shooting is improved. His shooting is very good improvement, and he's something that you would want on a team. Definitely Ime Udoka guy, somebody that doesn't do too much, and somebody that just fit the role in his offense, just play his game and just plays his role. That's a big difference between him and Dylan Brooks. He just plays his role and just does whatever he does to help the team win. That's what you want on the team. This is a good move.
Okay, that's a good little breakdown. AP, man, hello, by the way. Thanks for joining on the show. DFS just got signed. What are your thoughts on that?
And Stone, I trust, man. I love Stone, man. He always getting the right moves. He wants to win this championship so bad. Let's get it, man.
Okay. I like it. Now, Chris, I want to ask you because you're kind of the X's and O's guys that I know and trust, right? DFS and KD, right? I feel like that's definitely an upgrade over Jalen Green and Dylan Brooks. How do you like that pairing?
I like it very much. I really like the whole seeing a hole and filling it, right? Like the guys that I was concerned with guarding, with being able to guard them are the guys like Wembanyama, the taller, skinny, the Chets, the guys that Dylan guarded for us. We kind of didn't fill that hole until now, right? DFS is going to be a great, and like AK said, he's going to stay in his lane, right? He's going to just fill in, make the shots, fill in lanes, and play great help side defense, play good on-ball defense against the bigger group. He's just almost exactly what the Rockets need if they want to go on a big championship run. As far as with KD, I'd say that he knows how to play alongside stars. He knows how to play alongside Luka and LeBron, right? And not just from LA, but from in the past before. Am I wrong? Were they together ever in Brooklyn?
I think DFS did play alongside KD in 2021 with Kyrie for that brief stint he had.
I don't think he did. He play? Wasn't he traded for Kyrie?
You know what? Because Kyrie's on the Mavs. You might be right about that.
I wonder if KD played a couple of games with him. But anyway, he knows how to play alongside stars. He doesn't try to outshoot his role like Dylan did. So I think he just kind of slides in nicely. And, and the ability to kind of stay big and stay tough was something that I was kind of concerned with. Stone, Ime saw the hole and filled it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing.
Hey, surprise.
Hey.
Oh my goodness, bro.
Evil Twin is here. What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
What's going on, player?
Doing good.
Man? I'm happy to be here. I'm just here to contribute. That's all. What's going on, baby?
What's happening with it, Pastor?
What's up, man? Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen,
keep going. Let's get it.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know who this is Pastor. Originally, way back when we had Smiley, it was PG, Donte, and I. And wow, there was a lot that happened. But we are kind of coming up, right? Playoffs. Fortunately, Pastor got his wish, and Jalen's no longer on his team.
Hey, well, you know I came up here for that too, baby.
But we're going to talk about what's going on right now.
Let's talk now, though. Yeah, we're going to talk
DFS. DFS just got signed, and Kevin Durant is there next to him. What are your thoughts on that?
Man, I'm excited. I'm not I mean, I'm gonna use the word. I'm not a glazer for DFS, like I see a lot of people on Twitter doing right now, but I do think that it makes sense. It makes sense for what we're doing. I don't know, kind of like what idea, like what I don't know what we're trying to employ, or deploy out there as far as defense and schematically. Like I expect Jabari Smith to start, I expect Şengün to start, and I expect KD to start. And so when you talk about where DFS fits in, even rotationally, it's kind of weird to me. I think we kind of have some weird, kind of construction surrounding that guard spot. Unless we're going to go like just extremely big lineup, I don't know how, DFS breaks into that starting role. But bro, like bro said, like I do think he's a good fit. I think he knows how to play with other stars or play with stars. I'm sorry. I think he's a good size. I think he has a lot of good effort. Believe it or not, I was watching some of his highlights before he got signed, and he reminds me of a more and kind of like an older, polished version of like Tari Eason. So I think he kind of get the double down on what Tari Eason brings to us as well. But I mean, it's a good fit, and obviously they wanted him, and he wanted us. So like, I think they have an idea for what they want to do. I'm just not in the know yet. You know what I mean? But it makes sense, and I think it's a good fit.
It's a pretty good breakdown. Wow. It's just kind of a shock to have PG here, man. He doing a lot of things. We got a hater in the chat. This is a Laker fan. I hate Lewis Smith. Hey.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, this is this the biggest news ever to me. Then I love when Lakers fans got some tears in their eyes. That makes me happy.
Yeah, some Laker fans are mad that they lost him too.
Oh yeah. Oh, I got some people to text. Where my cousin at, bro?
Hey, Chris, you just had to
They
mention.
might be getting up Brook Lopez from what the reports be going up. They may not even go get Aiden.
Chris,
Yeah,
you
those
just
are some guys. I think we need a third center. I mean, it's a lot of guys. Brook Lopez makes sense if you don't use him a lot. You know what I mean? Just deploy him when needed, get him some rest.
I'd like to see a rim runner. I'd like to see a vertical lob threat, something that can actually rim protect vertically.
You don't like what's your guy name? 2-way contract.
Donte and finally Donte.
Yeah, Donte.
Yeah, I like him.
Donte?
I like him.
We're not going to see him,
Yeah,
right?
if he gets some more minutes, he might do some.
He won't.
You
right?
say he might get some minutes?
I said if he gets some minutes, not.
Oh, that's a capital if, right? Capital if.
Chris said he won't.
Big capital if.
All right.
Chris said he won't.
We got to be up 30. You know what? I take that back. We're going to be up 30 a lot. So if we're going to be up like that, we finna see a lot of dunk contests.
Well, that's a good point too. Like, though we should get another center, it ain't even about being up. Like, there is a lot of back-to-back opportunities that these guys are going to rest. Mm-hmm. We have a lot of injuries that we deal with from Amin Thompson, Tari Eason, Kevin Durant, and so forth. So you definitely want to keep depth. You know what I mean? So I think that is an important thing to look at. Like, even if you do have Donte, you still want something. It doesn't have to be a rim runner for me. I'm with you, Chris, but like it can be. You know what I mean? It's just like who's out there that you would even want to look at.
Robert Williams. I mean, we can't really.
That's trade though, ain't it? That's trade though, ain't it?
Right now, yeah, we're kind of locked in. I mean, unless we're into the first apron and playing with the tax and everything, and which I don't think they need to do. I would chill out,
Yeah.
So
I mean, take a flyer on a Wiseman. Would he take a vet minimum, and we could still slide him and keep him on?
What about Bo gives you that too, though.
Yeah, I'll take a ball. I mean, low risk.
What?
Ain't no risk.
We're gonna
really.
have to fill out the roster.
What
You said what?
What you say?
About what?
What'd you just say?
He said low risk.
No. You what?
Man, I don't know what you hearing over there, bro. You need some cotton swab?
No, you tried to get me earlier. No.
Oh, bro. You had your chance, bro. You missed it. Your window gone.
Bowl bowls that you talking about?
He said, I take the bowl.
I take a bowl. All 7-2 of that bowl.
Y'all terrible, dog.
Oh, Lord.
I set myself up though.
So Stone's off season so far. What are you guys ranking him? Right? Are you giving him an A+, an A minus? Like, I feel like he's been pretty good.
A
minus, A+ right now, really.
He had an A, man, because he done got us a lot closer to that championship, just like that overnight.
You've been critiquing him on Twitter to be saying that. I don't know, bro. You
can
hashtag fire inmate.
Yeah, like I don't know.
What you talking about? Me talking about what though? Who I've been critiquing? Stone?
Is that you with the championship of bus? Ain't that you?
Yeah, I'm the leader of the championship of bus. Yes. I didn't. That's not criticism. I'm asking questions because people act like it's gonna be all sweet after year one if we don't win a championship in year one. Somebody gone. Why y'all?
So logically speaking, let's just infer a little bit here. If someone says I'm gonna give them an A, but I'm also questioning your future moves, and I feel like to me, maybe I'm tripping. I feel like that would lead to you like you're being generous with that grade. That's all. Like you.
Nah, I like what he doing. I'm just saying everything I look at, I got an engineer's mind, bro. I'm always looking at a risk. I'm always looking at a risk management point of view. Like, okay, we're gonna make this move. What's the downside? Can we stomach this downside? Is that okay? Do you accept the risk that comes with this? You do? Okay, let's run it. That's all I'm saying. And people be taking all that stuff personal. No, stop trying to be right about something. No, it's just information. Get out your damn feelings.
I feel that.
Well, I'd say, as a Jalen Green guy, I'd say that I'm a whole lot happier after the Jabari signing, right? Like now it makes a whole lot more sense. That's
you think so?
$9 million more that Stone really kind of saved in this deal. I know that doesn't sound, fun to hear, but if you're going to be paying Jalen Green and then he may take off in a couple of years because of his contract situation with only the two kind of betting on himself, the 2-for-1 that he has with that player option, you may lose Jalen, right? And I know that's not something that is excited to try to think about right now. But if he saved by signing Jabari to the long-term team-controlled deal, we now know that we can pay all these guys, right? So if you're going to save the money and send off Jalen Green, then I'm a lot happier knowing that you can pay Jabari and you can pay Amin next year. I mean, this starts sense, right? And Tari. And I was kind of quiet as soon as the trade happened because I was a little bit questioning – like AK was saying, what other moves are we going to see? I don't believe we have enough ball handlers for a championship run, right? OKC, Indy, they're harassing ball handlers. You need multiple ball handlers to deal with that type of harassment. It's going to start coming from different angles too. To me, the way they're playing this is that they see KD as a 2, right? They're acting as if KD is a 2 guard, and that's where he's going to kind of slide in. And I mean, I don't know if that's the right answer or the wrong answer. I just would like to see more ball handling. So I'll wrap it up to say that there should be more moves, I would think, down the road. Now, whether that's at the trade deadline or it's signing minimums to try to help it out. And if it's going to be the Reed show as the backup ball handler, then do we have another option at the trade deadline, right? Like if we're going to be a championship team, we need to be able to make those championship moves, right? So I think if I was going to say anything about the Jalen and KD swap is that now it starts to make more sense now that the trade is actually starting to see what else he can do with the trade, right? Like not getting DFS if we don't send Jalen for KD, right?
Understood.
Hold on. One real quick. There's an update on the contract for Finney Smith. That 4th year is a non-guaranteed with a player option and a trade.
Okay.
That's a hard deal.
Year 4 of that contract is non-guaranteed. It's a player option and it has a trade kicker.
I got a question about the trade kicker. Does that, when you trying to match salary, does the pre-kick price tag, is that included in the salary matching or nah? Or that only goes through? It's not? Okay, I feel all right. Because it kind of threw me off. But to your point right quick, Chris, to your point, you said we need another ball handler, right? Even though I agree in theory, I understand. I agree in theory. However, one guy apparently was taking reps from everybody else and holding everybody back. So we're going to find out if that's true or not. If we really needed another ball handler, we're going to find out if that's true or not. Because one guy ain't going to be there to hold everybody back, taking everybody's reps. That's what they said. So we're going to find that out. That theory will be tested and proof of concept is on the way. You're going to hear me keep saying that.
Hey, I would say that it's so hard for me to give grades to Rafael Stone because I often I have to look at like his whole body of work and how he got here.
That's
And,
fair.
and so much of it is just like me understanding that a lot of these things kind of fell in his lap. Even the KD situation, I'm still on the side of like he may want KD, not Rafael, right? And then I think a lot of these kind of concepts around that too, like how we're building out the rest of the roster. And my point was that I stand by the fact that I don't think Rafael's a good GM. That's just like me. We can get that to that another time. But the way that it's coming to be, this may be his best offseason as far as willing and dealing when it matters. And like what Chris said, how we dealt with the really the Jalen contract, though it had the play option, I would kind of give it a B plus grade, dealing with the issue of like who we were, how much money we saved, who he is as a player, and so forth, right? And giving that chance for him to show like, hey, you could be that guy, we believe in you, right? But being able to get off that contract that led to a KD trade, right? That's important to kind of clap it up for him, you know what I'm saying? And then backdoor and adding Dorian Finney-Smith, which I mean, I feel like there may have been other players out there via trade market, but you're still able to get them on a quality $13 million a year deal. I feel like that's you can kudos to that. And then extending players, so keeping the continuity alive. I think you got to clap it up for that. So if I'm only looking at this offseason in the vacuum and giving them a grade, I'm gonna give them a B, probably B plus. But a lot of that is I'm spiteful though in giving it because I know how bad he willed and dealed over the last few years. But I will give it a good B plus, solid B plus, because I think he did right this offseason and ended up doing some good things.
Well, you got to
We
give him
saved
credit.
money on the Fred contract too.
Yeah, you got to give him credit for that.
Also.
Yeah, but the Fred contract. See, y'all don't want to talk about the Fred contract because nobody was paying Fred 25, bro. So if y'all want to talk about, we can, but I mean that's why the B plus is there.
Who was giving him 20?
Yeah. Nobody. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know who his agent is, right?
I could see it,
but you know who his agent is, right? So you better behave.
I mean, that don't bother me. This is big business. So if you're a GM, ain't no agent telling me how I should run my business.
Rich Paul is the second most powerful man in the NBA behind LeBron.
Hey, we would have to try to test it if I was in the position. So
I'm glad you're not in that position, bro.
Let me ask you guys this: would y'all have run after some of the bigger name point guards?
Like Kyrie?
Like who?
Kyrie, Harden.
Kyrie, I would have went after Kyrie. I said it. I told you I would have went after Kyrie.
Kyrie kind of only makes sense.
Depends on what the deal would have been.
He's a better scorer than Fred, but not really a better defender. But Trey would have been like the perfect, I'd have gave up something to get Trey. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I'm talking about the free agent guys that would have been. KD coming in the building, you make one phone call.
You're right. Yeah, Harden would have been my next pick if I had to. It would have been the easiest one to do. You know what I mean? But I'm with you. I'm not really big on bringing them in either. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying, if I had to do it for a more established and prolific point guard, it would have been Harden. It'd have been so much easier to get that done.
I understand.
I mean, the reason I say that is because it kind of seems a lot easier to put all this on Fred if I'm the opposing team.
Oh, right, yeah. Right. And we live with that, right?
If I'm going to lose, if I'm going to lose now, I'm going to lose to Fred VanVleet, right? That's the guarantee, right? That's what I'm doing. So I don't know that I'd be comfortable with that, right?
Are we selling a man Thompson short?
What do you mean?
I mean, he's supposed to be way better than what we replace. Who he's technically replacing.
Well, if we're going KD, then we are obviously not going to develop, right? That would have been my thought. If we would have kept Jalen and then run it back, that would have been kind of a developmental step back year to me, in my opinion.
Amen Thompson's supposed to have next.
Yeah, but his next is different than the next that you're thinking of. I've said it many times. I don't know if you're ever on the spaces, but Amen Thompson's next step isn't on the same path that he was on. He can't stay in a dunker spot and he can't stay in the corner of the court and still be this next step person. His whole progression is now going into ball handler scorer, and you're going to lose a lot of those things that made him great. He may not ever see a defensive player of the year if he has to focus on being a superstar, rather that's 1, 2, or 3. I'm just saying, it's just not. It's a whole new path for this man, and we're hoping that he can reach it.
I'm saying that new path was supposed to be that 1A.
Nah, I don't think so. I mean, some people may say that, but I don't think so.
A lot
I
of
know that people
say
were saying that's why I
A lot
keep
of people
saying
were
theories is
saying
finna get tested. That's why I keep saying that. I heard a lot of noise. Everything everyone ever said is finna get tested.
Well, what are they saying? Like someone like, let's be realistic, like and just tell me, like, let's not be hyperbolic about it, right? Someone saying that they think that he could be a 20-point per game scorer. Was that what you're saying? Like, because that's still not a 1-8. You know what I mean?
He's supposed to be the best player. Okay, this is what I'm hearing, and this is I don't remember who it is that said it, but I've seen this on my timeline. I was told even if we don't win a championship with KD, the window is Amen Thompson still. If you're gonna say something like that, that means you expecting Amen Thompson to be your 1A. You can't say something like that and then he don't get held to the same standard.
I mean, both can still be true though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm listening.
It just depends on the role that he develops into. Like, I think, what is he, 22 at this point, 21 and 22? So it's like by the time KD retired, be 23, 25. You know what I mean? So it's like that is something that you have to understand. Like, if he's going into a primary ball handler position, and he's creating for others, and he's giving you 20. If he's giving you 28 and 8, like, you know what I mean? Like, that's a 1A, bro. I don't care how you sum it up. Now,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what they say he's supposed to be.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, that's doable. Like, I hear a lot of things like he's going to be like a top 5 player in the league. I thought that's what you were referring to. And it was like,
yeah, that's what, bro. I understand. I understand. We probably got different definitions of whatever. I don't necessarily believe that you have to be top 5, but what I'm saying is, if you telling me the KD era is not championship or bust because you still have Amen Thompson, that means Amen Thompson got to be that dude for you going forward, because you can't say the championship window is still open if Amen Thompson is not one of them type of dudes in the NBA who can lead you to a title.
Yeah,
after KD.
I think it's still open regardless of like KD, because you have both Amen and Şengün regardless.
But you understand what I'm saying though, right?
I do, but I don't agree with you. I understand what you're saying, but I like that. Like, they're so young. That championship window is open probably 3 times over, because you're going to get away from KD in 2 years. You're going to bring in more vets after Fred, and then you're going to go through it again. So as long as they're paying Amen and Şengün, and they're both giving you 20 points per game, you have it's the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown effect. Like, they went through it in Boston with Kyrie and Isaiah Thomas and such, right? It's the same formula. So, like, that window is going to be open. Really, as long as you got Ime, you know what I mean? So, like, yeah, it's really there. So it's all about that roster construction. As long as we got these young players and they're developing, that window is going to be there, bro.
Okay, I got you. You say them young players. Let me ask you this, and the rest of y'all know where I'm finna go. After year 1, if we don't win a title, which one of them young pieces are still around? And which one of them is gone? All of them still going to be around, right? I'm talking right now. We got Cam, Reed, Amen, Şengün, Jabari, and I'm forgetting somebody. Who's number 6? And Tari. And Tari. Out of them 6 guys, if we go into 26, and if we in June in 26 and we don't finish June with a championship, do you expect all 6 of them guys to still be here?
It hyper depends on their performance, bro. It hyper depends on their performance, bro.
See, this is where we start to get into the nitty gritty, because it can depend on their performance all they want, but then you got to think about it. We just re-up Bari. We don't know how much Tari gonna get, and then Amen Thompson is going to be due for max. If he really that dude like that, he's going to be due for a real max.
So it's like,
what if we lose in like Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals?
You say what?
Chris?
What if we lose in the Western Conference Finals? Like, let's say we make it all the way to the end and we just lose to, a great Luka performance or something like that, right? Like something all time, right? So that would be, if you're able to just run it back with the same group.
But do you think Ime is going to be satisfied with that? Think about it. We got them 6 young dudes, right? And then we got them 2 Phoenix draft picks. Are we finna run it back with all of that still in the chamber and just be like, you know what? Let's just run it back. KD, you a year older. We just gonna run that back. You think that's really gonna happen?
Well, but you're just expecting the money to be okay, right? Like Ime can't go be asking for
exactly. That's the point. Something got to give.
Yeah, so but you can't give a bunch of young guys and just start adding a giant contract on the board. Does that make sense? So, Like everything we have right now is all young, not
In
paid
development,
players,
yeah.
except for Alperen Şengün and what's gonna be Amin Thompson. Those contracts are already becoming team friendly with the Bari, the Şengüns, and the sets like that. Like you're gonna, if you can just fit pieces around that, like they're trying to do with the Dorian Finney-Smiths and the whoever else they add to this, then you can just do it again, right? Like there's no reason why you would need to change the main
flip and
pieces
reset
rather
completely.
than just change up a couple of little ancillaries, right?
You think Ime Udoka just gonna be all right with that?
I do think so, but I want you. I want to be clear. I want to be clear though, like the gray areas are Reed Shepherd and Cam Whitmore, right? I think you kind of know what you get out of Jabari, Tari, Şengün, and what to expect from a man. So if you're gonna say like the things that will likely shift is like the expectations on Reed. If Reed gets better, then we'll start talking about maybe Tari is disposable or Jabari is disposable. You know what I mean? But then you think like Cam Whitmore might not even make it through this year. But like if these guys are finding success, like Tari, Jabari, and Amin are all fundamental players on any team that are winning teams. Like they fit more archetypes of winning teams. So if you're building and rebuilding a new winning team and you're trying to put pieces together, these are 3 of those 4 guys that fit that notion over and over and over. No matter if you got a KD or a Harden or a fucking Quentin Grimes, you're gonna want these guys on your team. You know what I mean? Now, Şengün, we can talk about that, but that's just depending on if we want to trade up and get something better than Şengün. But yeah, like all 6 is unlikely. We may draft a better player, but
That's my
4
point.
of those 6. Yeah,
but that's been my point the whole time. Everybody not gonna stick around for the whole ride. That's been my point the whole time. Like people act like I'm saying, I don't know what people think I'm saying. I've been saying that same thing. I said I'm not saying that they all going at once, and maybe that's what people are hearing. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying something got to give and someone got to go. If we win a title next year, first of all, if we win a title next year, it's because one of them young dudes, at least one of them young dudes, took a major step, first of all. Mm-hmm. And even in that case, even if we win, one of them still might be gone.
I'm pissed right now.
Breaking
news, Denver Nuggets traded Michael Porter Jr. and an unprotected 2032 first to Brooklyn for Cam Johnson.
That's a horrible trade.
That's a good move for them.
That's a horrible trade, bro.
For who? That's good for Brook. That's good for the Nuggets.
For the Nuggets, the first in Michael Porter.
Nah, but Cam Johnson feel what they're gonna do a whole lot better because I like Michael Porter Jr., but he got some of that I'm that dude in him, and he be taking some.
That's the Cat Minnesota deal.
Season, man, that's the best.
What'd you say?
That's the Cat Minnesota deal, right? That's the very same Cat Minnesota, New York. Same. They're trying to reset because they're so locked down. They have nothing to do. Nobody. They don't have any value contracts on their roster except for what Braun.
Oh.
So you have to, if you want to be able, they can't even bring in free agents right now. This resets it to allow them to try to put in new pieces.
So that's a cap situation, huh?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
So
the cap is forcing people to blow up, huh? Not blow up, but they forcing people to make uncomfortable moves, huh?
Well, Memphis is about to do something. They're about to buy out Cole Anthony too.
All right. Hey, listen, let me tell you something. I know he don't play a lot of defense, but he can get a bucket. I would go after him.
Cole?
Yes.
Well, Britt, he's going to Denver, so we don't have to worry about him in Houston.
It's not a problem no more. It's not a problem no more. Wow.
Yeah, I think Graffa made a good point, and what I'm trying to tell you, if they can put it on the screen, is that like we know that there are sacrifices when building a championship team. I don't think nobody in our fan base is expecting to keep everybody, but if it works, it works.
That's what they're saying, though. They're telling me that everybody's still gonna be around even if they don't win.
I say this respectfully, and I follow you. I don't believe you, Ak. I don't believe you.
Okay, hold on. Let me find something. You ain't got. That's okay. I'm a proof of concept kind of guy. I told you I got an engineer mind. I don't just run my mouth and talk shit. Hold on.
I mean, you do though, but
nah.
Hey, Ty Jerome's going to Memphis, 3-year, $28 million
That's a
deal.
good look for them. They need that. That's a
Okay.
setup for them.
That's a good deal.
Who else are we targeting? Do you guys have ideas?
I know Luke Kennard's name was popped up.
Yeah, that's
but
what I
don't know
saw
if that's
too.
even
Yeah.
enough.
Well,
Who else?
we
Who's
still got our
coming?
little
Nikhil
league.
running Nikhil Alexander Walker.
No, they not.
NAW probably
They
gonna go
done
to
with
the
the
Hogs.
Nikhil.
They done?
Yeah, they not doing the Nikhil one out. That's
They
what the
can't
rumors
do
is.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, money wise, they don't have it. If
I
they can,
think-
I think
the
you kick the fire on Cam and let it. You see it through.
that would be
They
the.
said he might go to the Bulls. But I don't know.
How many
Yeah,
minutes
well,
is Cam getting on this roster now that we have DFS, right? Because like we're looking at the starting lineup. That's kind of something we've been discussing, right? Of someone said that KD kind of looking at that 2 role, but starting wise, is it not Fred, Amen, KD, Jabari, Şengün? Jabari
That's
just
what I
got
think.
paid. I was assuming that that's kind of like what we're assuming, right? But then going to the bench, you still got Reed. Amen probably playing the most minutes on this roster, unless Fred is still twerking for Ime in some way, shape, or form at this point. But it's probably going to be Amen. But other than that, like our guard depth is that Reed. Is Cam playing 2? Is he playing a lot of 2? Where does DFS fit in?
Cam will dominate as a 2. He just got to lock in.
Yep.
You don't think
Are you
DFS
sure about
is
that, or is that a theory?
I just kind of understand his game. He needs to
You
score.
understand his game. Help me
Yeah, he
understand his
just needs to score. He just needs to score. And I think at the 2 off the bench, the only thing that I think he will struggle with is kind of playing defense against other guards, premier guards specifically. But yeah, I would like to
team ball too,
say it again.
like team ball too.
I mean, that comes with maturity. I think a lot of the let me just preface this because I'm hearing you rebuttal. Like a lot of the issues with Cam are the fact that he is the youngest player on his team. Always keep that in mind when we discuss Cam Whitmore. He is the most immature and the youngest, and I think that there is a level of ego around him. But this thing about that he can't do something is like you haven't even gotten to developing him properly, and we had. You know
just
what I
ask
mean?
the question. Just
Yeah.
put
No,
that.
Say it again.
It's you. I'm just saying that it is a lot of like Cam can play the 2. He needs to work regardless, and a lot of players do, but Cam needs to work.
Pass that collection plate, Pastor.
Say it one more time.
Pass that collection plate. Because you preaching.
Collection plate, get out of
Yep.
here.
You preaching. Real quick, check the private chat.
I got it.
AP, you said something about Shooter.
Yeah, Shooter's going to the Kings.
Wow. Okay.
They're Westbrook too.
Yeah, they were. I was about to say they were looking at Westbrook also.
Interesting.
If I had to give us one, I want Trey Mann.
That's a good
Yes.
look too. That's
Yes.
I want
good.
to see what
Yeah.
Man is.
Yeah.
How much
But-
you think he gets though? You don't think the market may be high for him? I thought he would be out of range.
He only played 13 games last year with a bad back. I don't think so. And they're all,
Not
He's a
Terrence, man.
restricted
Trey
free
Man,
agent.
right? For Charlotte, correct?
He's Trey Man, yeah, from Charlotte.
That wasn't his option that
Backup
we
point
got
guard.
declined like $7 million.
Yep.
So I would
$7
think he
million.
would at least go for that.
What's our ML? What's the base MLE, right? Because we use some of it for
14.1
it's 14.1, so we got less
extra
than
mil.
Yeah.
Interesting. There is still the possibility of Jock, right, getting booted.
Oh yeah, because he has till July 6th.
We pay Trey Man 8, with that, and that's the contract right there. If his option was 7, we pay him 8, 9.25 or whatever we have left over. That is.
Man,
possible.
I wouldn't give him more than $4 million. I'd tell him this.
I'm not saying I would.
I'd call Trey Man and be like, "Hey man, we got you a perfect microwave scoring role off the bench. You want to boost your value? I'll give you 12 minutes a game. That the most I can give him is 12 minutes, and he's not going to get the ball. He's going to come in and just score and boost his value, and hopefully we can turn him into a 6-man.
And then the issue with that is if we sign another player, what does that mean for Cam Whitmore, right? Because like my whole issue with this is I want Cam Whitmore to play. I want him to play.
You?
I know what I want him to play, and I want him to exceed. I want him to do well, and with like PG saying, like I agree. I think he can be good. He's only 20 years old, turning 21. He's got a lot of talent. I want him to use that and make our team better. But if we sign in another guard, then where is Cam playing? Cam last year. Cam only played 51 games and played 16 minutes in those games. He averaged less than 9 points, which was less than what he averaged his rookie year. He averaged 12 his rookie year. This year he averaged about under 10. So what does that mean for Cam if we sign in another player on top of DFS already?
Well, how many players do we have on our roster? Would be a good question for that. So what if are you just going to say you're going to go in with 13?
I mean, my issue
find that two-way on the 15, and you're going to want to add another player, right? Regardless of what it is, you're still going to have to fill out your roster.
Oh, we got to have 15, but Ime only goes like 9 people deep, 10 people deep, maybe.
It depends on performance. Yeah,
sure. It is definitely performance, right? But I don't want Cam Whitmore to be a break glass guy. I don't want him to play when we blow.
Oh, no, other way around. He will lose minutes if he's not performing. Goes for Reed Shepard too. Yeah. So I think those are the only two guys on the roster who maybe Jabari, but he got paid. But those are the two guys on the roster. I feel like if they aren't showing up next season, you're going to slowly see their chain being pulled back. So I think it's good to bring in quality depth, but I think these are also why they're bringing in conversations around like Holiday back, right? Because Holiday can take a bench role but still come up off and give you something. But I agree. We need something else, and I think man is a good look. There are plenty of others though, right? But I just think you want to get Cam out there. I'm just not banking on Cam being out there, and like you hope that he can contribute from the guard spot. It's just not promised.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would rather bet on hope and progression, honestly, at this point.
I'm still intrigued by Cole Anthony.
Yeah.
I'm like
he's a loser, bro. I don't know why y'all want him.
If he's losing games in 12 minutes, then he don't need to be in the league.
But he wants more money than I think we can offer.
And he's worth more money though as an offensive scorer. But
who gonna sign him?
I mean, okay, does he want to win?
That's what I'm saying. He's a
if
loser.
you take a one-off year and you perform in that 1 year, you'll get what you want on the back end.
You like to play in hypotheticals
for that, right?
I hear you, but nah.
The whole everything hypothetical until it play out.
True, some degree, but nah. Like KD's a walking bucket. I don't have to put no hypotheticals on that. But
being healthy is hypothetical.
He was healthy most of the time until he wasn't.
That's cool. But one thing that ain't a hypothetical is he gets a year older every year.
Sure. But my point being is that I don't. Some guys I don't even think fit this identity, and Cole is one of those guys. So, and then like Trey is young enough to where you can kind of get your hands on him. But I mean, like I'm not put. I'm with Preston about it. I'm not pushed to get something. Like I want a guard, as like a safety net. But shit, maybe take and play guard. LOL. Maybe.
As much as we saying all this, that's why I'm saying a lot of this is riding on the Man Thompson's progression. If he progress, they say, if he progress the way that a lot of us expect, I expect progression. If he really progressed, I think we in good shape, and all of this is just a moot point.
Mm-hmm. Bruce Brown just signed a 1 year with the Nuggets. Damn, man. I like
he went right back to the Nuggets. He went back to the comfort zone.
Yeah. I don't blame him.
That's good. That's good for him and them. That's good.
Yeah.
If he can stay healthy.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
He can't even play 10 games without going down for half the season. So
I got a question, a theory. Is there anybody else? Oh my bad. Is there anybody else that? Because I still think there could be some movement trade wise because of the KD and the KD trade hasn't been finalized, so it could be another team involved in the trade.
So
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if this is the end of the Rockets movement as far as like saying we don't have money for this, money for that. We may get another player involved in that KD trade.
So if
Cam is moved, then he would be involved in that trade. But then what would you bring back?
What do we need? What is the biggest need? And do we need like somebody to play immediately, or do we need some other assets to put in the bank?
If I'm trading Cam, he has to contribute now. That's not even a question.
Okay, so because we in win now mode, right?
Yeah.
No.
So it's another casualty, right?
Not your win now.
No. You see what y'all do? You see what y'all do, right? No. Ain't no escape.
Hey,
Kevin Looney going to the Pelicans.
Good. He ain't with the Warriors no more.
Yes.
Jesus Christ, I
I'm
got
gonna tell
sick of
y'all,
that.
y'all might not want to hear this, but
I'm
the
listening.
Pelicans gonna give us problems next year, dog, and they already do at times. So I don't know. We should be celebrating Kevin Looney.
They're gonna give us problems eating
He's
with
not in
that
Golden State.
Ben
That's all I care about. Golden State got worse. That's all I care about at the end of the day.
I mean,
They
they're gonna
finna
be
get
working.
Hater for
they
life.
finna get Ben Simmons and Al Horford and go to
Ben
Yeah.
Simmons played 30 games last year.
Forget Ben Simmons, but the Al Horford part. Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
They got to replace him.
If they get Al Horford, that's a
Wow.
win for them.
Yep, it is. And they got Jimmy Butler still too. Yeah, it's gonna be wild.
it'll be interesting.
AK, if I
We
was
got
going to
KD.
jump on your championship or bust deal, I would argue, and I would allowed to because I've been arguing this since the day we drafted, is that I would trade Reed Shepherd for an upgrade
Yep,
at a back guard spot.
yep.
And that's just me. He makes $12 million. He's good, highly paid, right? So you could add that. You could get a good lead guard with the Reed Shepherd deal, especially while his value is high. If he continues to play like he's playing now, that value is going to continue to plummet. And
All I know is my bad.
the issue, if that becomes the issue, that we put a lot of faith in a Reed Shepherd, who everybody wants to yell third overall pick, yet he might not have been in the lottery at this draft, right? So it was just a bad draft. So jumping on the third overall pick and talking about Reed Shepherd being a possible number one overall pick, it just didn't really track with me from day one. So
Sure.
That would be, to me, would be the one that if you were going to make the trade, I would understand at least.
There isn't even well, respectfully, I don't even see a path to him being a good starter. You know what I mean? Like he's gonna struggle with height and size for this whole career. The shooting has to be there at a 40% clip. It has to be there. And so besides his defensive effort, I think there are some moments you see that, and I say effort, not actual execution, defensive effort. And then those passes he make, I think he got good court vision. He still struggles like to make it happen as a point guard, and he's not really a point guard. So yeah, I just think that I struggle with the belief in like projection of that guy on this roster.
Well, like if I could see him be as tough as like a TJ McConnell, right? Like he just doesn't seem like he's got that grit, and it will get down. And when the playoffs come, he just knocks off every.
And right now, TJ is his best case scenario.
Right, and I just don't see the grit for that. Like I know that me and Will had it about that, and he was saying TJ McConnell right now. I don't think he's strong enough, tough enough, and willing enough to be TJ McConnell.
Hey, Chris, I won't take you back to Summer League. I don't mean to cut you off, Ak, if that was you. My bad.
No, I'm good.
There was a point in Summer League against the Timberwolves. I always bring this up. People hear me say this all the time. And I believe Deshaun Nix and a couple other up-and-coming Wolves players, they were hounding him at the point of attack. And there was a point in time where he finally got a shot off. It went in. It was a very acrobatic off the glass layup. He's kind of falling out of bounds, right? And you saw him fuck. You know what I mean? And I was like, if that guy exists and that extrapolates, then we may have a little bit of something. But even if that grit and that I guess hard ass is there, it's still limitations. So he's gonna have to bring it every single night. And that may be year 5 when he finally figures out how to be a grown man on the court. You know what I mean? So I'm with you thoroughly. I think he can be good. As far as an NBA player, I don't think he can be I'm not guaranteeing it. Let me just say it that way.
So
regardless, that's another casualty, another potential casualty.
Well, I just don't like the other option. I just like if we're talking about a point guard, Amen Thompson, or a point guard, Reed Shepherd. It's really
all of a sudden we have guard issues.
It doesn't track with me. The advantages that you get from being able to put Amen at the point are insane, right?
Even with shooting limitations, I agree. Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that's a huge deal. I know that we discussed this earlier. I was saying that some of our best offense this year could be an Amen, DFS, KD, Bari, Tari. Just play finishers, right? And spread them out and put them with Amen. That sounds like a more tracking offense than a pick and roll with Reed Shepherd and Alperen Sengun.
And what does pick and roll do for you in the playoffs if you don't have an AD?
Exactly. And it's the ability for him to get shot. So And we're the limitation of a small point guard that we obviously see what struggles that puts on Fred and what that limitation puts on our teams. I mean, we don't see lobs, we don't see those kind of things, and that's a direct result of Fred VanVleet. We don't see him getting to the rim. That's a direct result of Fred VanVleet being small, right?
So
my
question is this: who's holding all of these guys back?
No, I didn't say anybody's really holding them back.
No, I'm not. That you see where we're going?
No, believe it or not, it's every player individually. Like it ain't nobody holding them back.
That's
like,
not the narratives that was being put out.
I don't want to talk narratives. I just want to talk ball. Like Jabari has to be a quality 3-point shooter when he gets these open threes, right? Şengün has to finish at the rim and get his floater and take the open threes that they dare him to take and hit them. You know what I'm saying? Tari has to not be a goofball, and I never want to see a mid-range shot from Tari. Reed Shepherd has to be a quality NBA player. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are things that are here. Cam Whitmore has to be there, present in the moment, and give you that. So it's like, I don't think that's like, and I hear a lot of it being like coach is the problem, is really what I feel like he was about to say. But like, that's not, to me, that's not really it. Like, it's some of it, sure, but like, that's not really it. These guys don't contribute at a high enough clip yet, but they're young.
That's what my point is. Let them play out of their bad habits. That's been my point.
You're just more on continuity and patience. And I get it. Like, right? Like,
bro, we on the same page.
Well, as long as they're picking a direction is, I think, what the most important thing, and that there's still optionality and flexibility for the long-term goal. Like, I get it. I get what you're saying. But like, look at what Denver and these types of teams and Minnesota did last year. And I know they still ended up back in the conference finals, but in Dallas, there's a lot of teams making a lot of moves based on the cap. And we're not even anywhere near those type of problems, right? Like, so long-term flexibility, the long-term future is still there. We still get to see if these guys are going to be winning players in a winning situation. Right. Like, I think throwing Reed Shepherd in on a winning team and knowing whether he can actually play on a winning situation is a whole lot more valuable than letting these guys go out there and make a ton of mistakes and then just go, oh, well, we think he can still project out to be a decent NBA player and then pay him as such. So I would argue that right now that they get KD, you get an opportunity, falls in your lap for little to nothing. You have to try to go for it. So you get the opportunity to get DFS, go for it. That doesn't mean that we can't shop DFS for a couple of second and add a couple second round picks and send them back to New York, or send them to Brooklyn, right? So I still think there's optionality and viability. I get where you're coming from, AK, but I think that there's still a lot more flexibility that people just don't pay attention to.
Hey, before you go, let me add the money thing that I think you don't really you struggle with keeping in mind is that the Fred contract and the KD contracts, they dissipate over time. So as these guys come into more money, like the Reed Shepherds, Cam Whitmore, Tari Eason, which those guys are going to get paid. Well, one of those guys is going to get paid up front this year. But like Fred and them are supposed to weed out and leave, right? Like Dorian is at some point is going to be tradable. KD is at some point is going to retire. So that money goes off the books. We're going to have money to continue to expand and move around. Like that's not like we're not locked in as much as you think we are, bro.
Right, and that's
why did KD come here?
The cap moves up every year as well, so you have that part. So like, just
like him telling he came here to retire.
Like you look at Jabari's contract, that $24 million. By the time you get to year 5, it's gonna be one of the cheapest, most valuable tradable contracts. If you want,
it's going to be a couple $1 million over the league vet minimum.
Yeah.
Over the MLE. The MLE is going to be like $20 million at that time. So Barry's contract this year will be 2 years.
I hear all of that. But what y'all is forgetting is KD didn't come here to find a new barber.
A barber.
He didn't come here for that. He came here to increase his rank on the GOAT list.
But when he was asked very first about this, he said it, hey, there's still a lot that still has to be figured out whether or not we're going to be a championship. I mean, that was one of the first things out of his mouth that he was coming to Houston.
I'm going to say this, AK. KD, if you know KD personality, he don't give a damn. He really don't give a damn about.
Or he's at his own pace. Like,
Yeah,
for
like-
sure. Yeah, no
He
question.
don't really
He cares,
care
bro.
about
He
what
said he on
other
tour.
people
I
think,
don't know.
or what other people rank him. Like that doesn't matter to him. He's literally about ball. Like he knows he's one of the greatest of all time already. Period.
So doesn't he want to leave a greater legacy?
Bruh, why did he go to
He
Brooklyn?
don't care about
No,
no legacy.
Yeah.
hold
man.
on.
You don't
Why?
think he cares at all?
No, he definitely cares, but I'm saying like
I don't
it's
think
not
he
to the
cares.
same that magnitude
He
is with
cares
like
about it
money.
himself,
Yeah,
but not what other. Because what you're saying in the sense of what others are saying.
That's not
No, that's not. No,
When
the
you're
hell
talking
I'm
about
not.
a legacy. You're talking about a legacy
Yeah.
on
You-
other
you-
opinion.
Do you think he cool with retiring with just 2 rings with Golden State? You don't think he want to get a ring without Steph Curry and being attached to that, bro? You don't think he want a ring? But
hold on, I think he does
Oh,
want a
for sure.
ring. That's not nobody's arguing that. He
Right.
does want a ring. He's made that point. I don't think that he's saying, well, man, bro, if we don't win a ring, I'm gonna put y'all in the motherfucking bind. Like, boy, it better happen. He ain't saying it better happen. He's saying we're gonna figure it out and he gonna do his part. Like
It ain't Braun, man. It ain't Braun. Ain't
So
gonna
is that why he forced his
$50
way
million
out?
option.
y'all keep
Oh, breaking news! Breaking
y'all
news!
keep thinking.
Breaking news!
Boy, you got some
Stop.
small
Hey,
ass
stop.
hands,
Hey, we
dog.
got some
Stop.
breaking news. Hold on,
Stop.
everybody.
Hey,
Hold
dude.
on.
All right,
Stop.
all right. Listen.
Houston
Who's
Rockets
that
have
team?
signed Clint Capella to a 3-year, $21.5 million.
Oh, I'm out of this motherfucker. I'm out of y'all, bro. I'm all at
Hey,
y'all
Pastor.
boys,
Hey,
man.
Pastor, check your ex, bro. Check,
Hell no, bro.
Pastor, check your ex though.
Hell no, bro.
Hey, hold on. Didn't Chris say he wanted a rim running?
There you go. Hey,
He can, can he still do that?
Let me ask you something, Clint Capella, man.
Give me Clint. Give me Clint, baby.
Hell no, bro.
Look at this.
Hey,
Look
hey,
at this.
that's good. That's good for Donte, for Enfile Donte. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually good.
Hey,
sure?
you like that move, huh?
I'm finna go to Phoenix, man. I'm hollering at y'all boys, dog.
No
They had
way.
Jalen for him.
You and Kelly, you go right.
I can dig that though. I can dig the Clint Capella thing. I think he's like a Steven Adams insurance. I can dig it.
Yeah, he's
What is this,
You
Tom?
I understand it.
You actually
Right.
brought him back.
Man, they got Jalen Ramsey over there now.
You know what he is?
Crazy.
He's on a very tradable contract.
Yeah,
He is
very
on
true.
That's
Hey,
cool.
hold on. What's crazy?
That's cool.
is
He
the money that
a
we
tradable
spend-
contract. Jabari a
the
tradable
money that we
contract.
spend- all you doing is flipping Jock's money for Clint
For Clint.
Capella. That's it.
That's right. He's making less actually
Yeah,
than
making
Josh.
less. So you save money that way.
Somebody
That's cool.
said, "Hey, go look at the chat." Somebody said, "Bye, LP."
Whoever said that better sleep with a helmet. Boy, they finna come after you.
Let me ask you
Man.
something.
So Jock is definitely gone, right? So Jock
Yeah,
Oh,
Jock's
yeah,
gone.
out of here.
Jock
So-
is going to be part of the trade.
Okay.
Kevin Durant.
Okay. So is it just Jock being gone or somebody else going with him?
Where's my window?
Cam's gone too. I'm
It's
guaranteed.
probably going to be LP for Giannis.
Let me tell you something, bro. I wouldn't be mad at that one bit because we even closer to a
That
title.
would be crazy of an offseason.
I understand because low key LP contract is tradable too. People don't realize that.
Around and pull the
Famous
Giannis
Jalen.
trade.
Hey, we pull a Giannis trade. Let me tell you something, dog. I'm gonna be a very, very insufferable human being all over the place. You think my wife ain't gonna be the only person yelling at me all over the place?
AK,
Dog.
you already there, so I can't even.
It
stop
ain't- Let me tell you something, dog. This is very mild. I'm holding back a whole lot because we on the interwebs. I'm holding back a lot. I am a very insufferable human being. You think Stephen A. Smith bad? All right.
Oh, they actually brought back.
That's at 14 roster spots. 14 roster
I would
spots.
love Lonzo Ball, man.
I will
So,
say.
so Lonzo got where did he go to?
He got traded to.
He got traded to Cleveland.
Cleveland, right? So that was the guy that was number one on my. Y'all know that though, right? He was number one on my list.
Sure.
So let me say this. It's really crazy now. The Rockets are going to be one of the deepest teams in the NBA.
We already were though, AD.
I know, but I'm saying like we like 1-2, like right there, and then Karis LeVert. Oh, he went to Pistons. Okay.
Interesting.
I mean,
Well,
yeah,
that's
I mean,
Malik
that was-
Beasley situation though, so that's
Yeah.
probably why.
So it looks like we do have a clear idea of how Ime want to play. He wants long, rangy players on the court as much as he can get them on the court. That's what it looked like to me, bro. And I'm down with it because, I mean, imagine how disruptive defensively we can be with Ime's scheme with those kind of players, bro.
Oh, you ain't gotta imagine.
Yeah. We was doing it with Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun being on the court at the same time. Imagine you got upgraded defenders with more size at the same time, bro. Like, come on, like it's gonna be fun.
Definitely better than Jock. I think you.
Oh yeah,
You're gonna miss Jock's 3-point ability. I mean, it wasn't great, but you're gonna miss that. But if they're just trying to be able to pack the paint in certain scenarios, like taking on Wemby, taking on Giannis and such like that, you kind of want to keep that big in there. So I can see that being the case. But I mean, I think we still need a guard, a combo, dude. I don't know who.
I'm telling you right now, it's coming in the KD trade.
Yeah, who is it? Who is it?
Right.
You got an idea?
So let's go ahead and talk about it. Like we keep, playing around the bush. The bushes make noise. Let's go ahead and talk about it.
Welcome home, Chris Capella. Welcome home.
Hold on. All right. So if you expect Jock to get added to the KD trade, who else is going to be part of the deal? Because it can't just be Jock. Ain't nobody checking for Jock like that.
I mean, it would be Jock. So this is the thing. We talked about Reese Shepard potentially being moved. If Ime believes in Cam, it's to me, it's between Cam and Reed. Who does Ime believe in the most?
Probably Reed, bro.
And whichever one he believes in the most, the other one's going to get included in the trade. And if it's Reed brings you back a bigger fish with Jock.
Reed is a Stone guy, though. I don't think that's an Ime guy. I think that's a Stone guy.
So what is Cam?
Cam.
So what is Cam?
He said Reed's a Stone guy. Okay.
No.
Cam is a nobody wanted Cam. Nobody in the league wanted Cam.
I mean, yeah, we were blessed to get Cam at that spot too.
So
but I will stand by Cam. Cam gonna prove the world wrong one day. Watch.
Who he proving wrong? Who is the world?
You.
Me.
You and Preston.
I like Cam. What
y'all talking about?
I heard your voice. I heard your tone. Yeah, I heard your tone.
What are we talking about here?
I was hyped for Cam. Hold on. It's on the Rocket stage too. You're right.
I'm trying to find out who we talking to like that. I'm not sure who we're talking to.
The curly throw Idaho.
Tyler Hero was in.
He called you an Idaho.
No.
I see what you did there, Pastor. You call him an Idaho. I see what you did there, bro.
I don't see who we're talking about.
Are we? Hey, dog.
AD. I see what you're saying about Reed possibly being gone because he made 10.6, right? Pair him up with Jacques. That's a nice little 18, almost 19.
All right, so who we getting? Drew Holiday?
I don't know. I'm not saying I ain't got an idea.
If you tell me we're getting back like a Derek White, have at it.
I do like
Derek White. You ain't doing that.
So you don't think the Celtics will open their ears up?
Nah, the Celtics.
You want to add draft picks and everything.
Yeah,
hold on. Let me ask y'all this. I'm gonna throw something out there. Reed, Cam, and one of them Phoenix picks. You don't think they bite on that?
You're gonna need more than one. You want to give up both Phoenix and another swap.
They said they wanted a Mikal Bridges deal with them, right?
They can say what they want. They can say that all they want. That don't mean that's what they're gonna get.
Yeah, but why would they trade Derek White? They got under the tax. They got where they needed to be.
And they signed.
And they can get even further on the tax and have some young guys to come and play back with
Aren't they talking about trading Simons too?
No, Cornette's gone. Cornette went to San Antonio.
No, it was another center they already picked up, right? On their team.
I don't know if they did pick up somebody else.
Shout out. No,
Porzingis got traded.
That's right.
Porzingis got traded.
Cornette's gone. Al Horford might be gone. You tell me they don't want Jacques?
Why is Clint Capella staying?
Wow.
Why would he stay here for way less money than Cornette?
Because
he likes Houston.
signed a deal for way less money than Luke Cornett.
He like Houston. He like the chicks in Houston more than in Atlanta.
You might be right. I'm tripping.
Dunk on him, boy. Bring that 15
Yeah,
back.
Cornett signed him for more money. But I wonder if this puts us in the tax, right? Like if we're going to go into the tax, then there's a lot more moves we can make, right? Like if we're talking about going into the tax, then Naw is on the table, right? Because there's no reason why. Yeah, go for it.
Let's get it. That's what I'm saying. Like let's go. Why not? Why not?
Not that I want him. But
why not his money? But go ahead.
Would y'all trade Steven Adams for? Would you trade Steven Adams for Austin Reeves?
No, I don't believe in Austin.
Hold on, Steven Adams for Austin Reeves?
Yeah.
Are we getting more?
Hey, listen. Goodbye, sayonara.
Man, y'all don't remember what them Steven Adams lineups look like?
It had to look like that because we was missing so many damn shots. Why wouldn't it look like that? You think he was rebounding makes?
Man, Steven Adams been a rebound menace even with make shots, bro. That ain't even a question. His whole career, that's what he made that identity out.
Right, and it looked so much better here because we was really good at missing shots.
That's a functionality of this team that I don't think you just give away. I mean,
you see what I'm saying? That's part of the offense. That's the Ime Udoka offense.
But I don't think, and I don't even think they would do that deal. But I'm just saying that, like, I don't think I would make that deal just to get Reeves on this team.
Man, Steven Adams can go sit somewhere. Give me Austin Reeves over Steven Adams, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, as a player,
Adams might be their emergency center if Clint's hurt or something like that, or she ain't good.
Yo, the rim protection that Clint's gonna provide our defensive.
Clint's not the same. He's not the same as he used to be. He's not the same as he used to be.
He's not motivated. He's motivated.
But now we can insulate him in his own defense. Man, he can just pretty much stand there like a tree. Man,
I got you.
Adams was blocking shots for us in that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Hey, man.
Funnel. They're going to be able to funnel everything too.
I'm good with it. Like I know that Ime Udoka wanted a shot blocker, and he's got one now. So it's gonna be really fun, man. We're gonna be fun to. Well, in theory, we should be fun to watch.
Let me say this because you got to realize too, Steven Adams is probably going to play 50, 60 games at the most.
Maybe, yeah.
You know
how many did he play last season? Let me see.
Like around that. He didn't play most of the season.
Yeah, he didn't play that. I don't think he played 60.
Yeah, so I mean, you got to think about it. They're going to rest Steven Adams a lot of games. And,
I think so. Yeah.
And then,
that has to be something. I said it earlier too. They have to be selling that to players that sign here, right? It's like they're gonna be an extra 30 to 40 games that you're gonna get starting minutes in. You may not play a lot of games, but you will play the games we have available.
Is Steven Adams going to play the same amount of games? Pastor, I'm going to cut you off. Continue.
No, you good. You said we on the same topic. You good, bro.
So are we expecting Adams to play about 55 games a season or more?
Yeah, I would say 50.
Over under 55.
Yeah. I would say over 50.
He'll play 50.
And barring injury, yeah, over 50. And I mean, like, and that's why you have to have three centers on this. And they're gonna probably even keep Donte on that two-way. So yeah, you gotta have three centers. And that just accounts for injury too.
I don't
think Jabari can still play it. Finney can play a little bit of center. So yeah.
I don't know if I want to.
So do we still have another move in the chamber? Or I mean, obviously the KD trade can still expand, but let's say that hypothetically that doesn't expand. I mean, because it doesn't have to. We know the KD part is going to happen.
Yeah.
If it doesn't expand, what's the play? What play we finna run? Like we're just gonna go with that backcourt the way that it is? Do we believe in Reed Shepard and Amen Thompson the way that
you gotta believe in your 3 pick if you drafted them?
Yeah, I agree. That's where I'm at. The moves that they're making moves with confidence. Well, confidence in a couple players and
let's say direction. Direction.
We do it. We definitely have direction. We have a very clear direction, and now we have a hierarchy, which was a problem for us last year. Like you just didn't know who was going to do what.
They don't care about guard shooting. They seem to only care about wing shooting. That's
what I'm saying. But that's fine if you have guards that are creating rim pressure off of their own drives. That's fine. You can get away with that.
Only got one half guard, point forward.
Man, we should have got James.
So what's
Harden.
the play?
We should have got. There you go, Chris. Now Chris.
It's perfect for James Harden, man. Good night.
Who?
You got 3 different kind of centers to play with. You got wings for days. Just go do your thing.
I think
this is a perfect Harden roster. Man.
Perfect.
Bro, you see what he did with Zubac?
Nate didn't want that.
Like, imagine what he could do with Alperen Sengun, bro. You see what he did with
Ime
Zubac?
didn't want that. That's not true.
Ime was the one
He
that
said
didn't
it.
want Harden. That's
Yeah,
why
he
got
said it
played.
himself.
That's not
Yeah.
what y'all always remix what was said.
Yo,
So what was said?
Fans of
Y'all.
Rockets, he said, do
Fans.
not come here now because we're not in a position to win. Go win a chip. That's what he told him. He said, I
And
didn't
he
want
did. Okay.
He didn't say.
That's a nice
I don't
way
want
of saying it.
you. He didn't
Just
say
that
I
part.
ain't want you.
He's not going to come out and say that in the media. Ime Udoka, he don't move like that.
the statement that we heard wasn't to the media. It was the backdoor. This is what was said. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I could have sworn I heard Ime Udoka say that out of his own mouth.
Me personally, I wanted James Harden here so that when we win the championship, all the James Harden haters, I just want to see how they flip the narrative about how they always wanted James Harden here and they love James.
So we do that in this fan base, right? We move that goalpost which way it can go, right? We do that, right?
Yeah, you do it every day.
I think you do it.
Man, get your. That's why your hands 5 inches apart.
You don't know that I see you on Twitter. Like, you know, I see you, bro. You do
Pull up my flip flop. Hold on, go pull up my flip flop. I'm waiting. I don't do that.
So this is
I
the
don't.
thing.
I'm not results based. I'm process based.
This is the
still
thing about the
bringing
trade.
Holiday back. You still bringing Jeff back. Jeff can't play the 2 though, but you still bringing Jeff back, and you bringing Tate back, right? And Tate can give you some guard minutes. But
you're
it's not
forgetting Nate Williams.
Oh man,
He's gonna be a part of the trade.
damn it, Chris. Lee, you had to remind me.
I had to, bro. My bad.
Yeah, but you know, I just think. I mean, Holiday gives you some of that. I just would like to get better at some guard. Just one. I just need one combo guard. Like at this point, I would even take a Clarkson, fam. Like
KPJ.
I would love y'all.
KPJ, son. Keep that
Don't
thug
get
out.
me started. Hey, back and if we're gonna bring up that goes back into the why Stone is a bad GM conversation anyway, because the whole twin backcourt, all that shit came to a fucking So anyway,
And
So
it's
what's the solution?
growth having to play with the combo guard.
that was
Don't have to
Chris.
play
You
with
are
PG.
speaking my fucking religion. Excuse my French. That is literally what I always say was like, we know when we should have went with John Wall and Jalen Green, we should have had them guys. Like, bro, we should have been building a successful veteran but developing team, but they didn't want to do that. Like, our culture was shit when they got here, bro. And that's that Stone, bro. That Stone.
And I watched Phoenix turn Jalen into a point guard.
Oh, he's gonna be fine. I said this before. I said it on Space. He's gonna be fine. I think his career is gonna be somewhere between 20 to 22 for the rest of his career. But if he has this next jump, like, I'm not gonna say I told you so because I wasn't a fan of him being here. But I will compliment his game. I saw it coming. It's just we didn't construct the good reality for him.
I agree.
Who else was saying that? I'm just asking. Who else said the same thing?
Boy, he wants some credit for every boy. I can't even
Nah,
eat around.
because
I can't even eat around you, boy. I eat around you. You gonna take my food?
nah, because see the problem is I consume basketball very different than a lot of other people, man. Everybody just look at what happened. They look at the results. I don't move like that. I'm like, what is the process? How can you do to fix the process? Because a lot of times the process is the problem. It ain't even the results. That's why you get inconsistent results when your process is inconsistent. You don't control the results. You control the process. When your process is all over the damn place, what the hell you expect the results to be? It can be any damn thing. So that's why I'm saying a lot of stuff that I'm saying.
So,
like I've seen like when Jalen Green was having good games, right? He was operating a certain way, and then when he's not, it kind of up and down. Like he's some of that is him too. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he was perfect. Absolutely not.
Hey,
Some of that is him too.
Sidebar, I'm just reading the tea leaves. JT put out a tweet talking about Capella, and his B point was saying this Capella signing is a precursor to a major blockbuster deal involving Alperen Sengun, bro.
I just read that.
That's kind of
JT.
blockbuster with Sengun, you already know who it is.
Who is JT?
Gatlin.
Oh, Jackson.
Yeah,
Gatlin.
off season is something crazy every year.
Boy.
What was unique about that?
This fan base, boy.
AK, what was unique about it? It had a bunch of eyes on it. Oh man, dog.
So Quinn may not stay. He may be part of the final.
Once again, casualties of a championship or bust process.
This is what he's talking about. Real quick. This post here.
Oh, them eye emojis. I didn't lie to
Jackson.
Hey guys,
what was I told?
Our round robin group chat.
Hey,
real quick.
Yep.
I was told that all these young guys are still going to be around, even if we win or not. That's what I was told.
I don't know.
What is our?
I sent you. Hey, Pastor, did I send you? The DM?
Yeah, but I agree with the guy who you was arguing with, though.
Of course you do. Of course you do. Why wouldn't you?
He was kind of spitting though, AK. I ain't gonna hold you, dog.
All right, bro.
Let me say sidebar to Preston and his Clarkson hate.
Sorry, it's just facts.
Let me say this. The expectation about Clarkson is that he's going to be a role player. Why would they hate him? They hated Jalen because Jalen was a starter.
Yeah, Jalen should have been a 6-man at best, for sure.
Lakers strike
that
out
comment.
Preston, when you gonna let me get off my Jalen hate, dog?
Go ahead. I'm
get off.
What you want?
Off the Jalen hate. Go ahead, get it off.
I'm just here.
Can I just say I told you so? I can't even say that. Where my Preston? Where my big dog at? Who was the big JG fan? Where he at?
I'm still here.
The other homie that was up here on the.
Ryan, he busy right now.
Okay. But yeah, man, I'm gonna say this. I said this to AD when we was in the chat together. It is a bittersweet feeling. It did not feel as good trading them as much as I thought it would, and I will admit that. I'll admit that. But
why?
Because I understand a little bit of basketball, so I get that we didn't do things right by them. But I
respect it.
But I just think that like if you, I don't know how to put this, like if you would have drafted in a different angle, like if Cam Whitmore was first, or if Şengün was the number 1 pick, right, or if Jabari was here a year before, then like Jalen would have fell into a role that kind of fit him a lot better. But because he was the first person we drafted, we had to put a lot of eggs into seeing his success pan out, and I mean, it just was never there, So I kept telling y'all this shit,
My only question though is, can you honestly, with a straight face, tell yourself that they really, not that he didn't get the opportunities, but did he get the right opportunities? Because in what you're just saying, he got opportunities, but it wasn't the right ones.
Yeah,
because he wasn't in position.
We said that earlier. I agree. I think that the functionality of the team was not conducive for his success. That's one part, right? We can talk about that. But also keep in mind that a lot of it does still fall on him because he did not have John Wall, and they kind of told John Wall go home, and they didn't build veterans around him because they really should have had vets for both him and Şengün, right?
Hell yeah.
When we went for the tank, when both Şengün and Jalen would have benefited from having good vets, quality vets that know how to win and compete. But then when you talk about the opportunities that Jalen had, he was not a good spot 3-point shooter. He was not a good finisher at the rim. So when he got those opportunities, it was like, damn, you're just behind. You're just right. Like if you could just figure it out, you know what I mean? And he just would not take those next steps. And this playoff series or this season really like encapsulate all that. Like, right. You saw a guy who was inefficient, 20 points per game, and then could not win in winning time. We saw this coming.
It's water under the bridge now, but yeah. For sure. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you. I ain't gonna care.
Matter of fact, Jalen is my first child, bro. I love Jalen. Just not on this team.
EO stepchild. That's what it is.
I love Jalen.
So we can still duck the tax with this Clint Capella deal. We just have to guarantee $3.5 million of Landale's deal or ship out Cam Whitmore.
Okay, well, it's gonna be Landale, no question, and then the Whitmore.
I agree.
The Whitmore,
but it would have to involve a sign and trade type of situation.
Okay,
neither to whatever.
Yeah. Hey, Chris, I want to let you know I really do appreciate the work you do. on the net, man, for sure.
Thank you, man. I'm glad it helps.
Wow, this has been a great little bit here. It feels like it's the PG and AK show right now. We all just looking.
My apologies. I didn't mean to.
No, but I like it. I like it. They got good discourse.
Hey, I love it. I
They
love
got
it.
good
I
discourse.
love
Yeah,
I like it.
enjoying this.
It's good. It's good energy. It's good
I was just surprised it took PG that long to get that Jalen takeoff. As soon as I saw him, I thought, oh yeah, here it come. He's gonna wait. First moment he gets.
But like I'm telling you, Chris, it's not like the hate is there, but it's not as bad as like I show on Twitter. Like Twitter is just like, it amplifies it. I'm sorry. So it's like,
well, I think when you get into debating, I think a lot of times it would get ramped up when you were debating. Like you would talk to somebody, and then as they would debate you, you would get further and further away from.
Because everybody on Twitter argues to be right. They can't just state their point and leave
Chris,
it at that.
you're in the playback and stuff too, right? You've been in there, right? And stuff.
Yeah.
So I was like, we've been in there in chat before.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw it. I mean, you were right. A lot of it, you were one of the ones that I didn't want to have to argue with without the Jalen stuff. But my thing with the Jalen thing is that it was always a projection, right? Like it was always something that we were going to have to wait and see. And so I didn't want to have to argue my point on a wait and see. And then after he left, it to me right now, it's still in the same position, right? He's still a wait and see player. Like he's still projected. And what we all believe, and if you talk to 90% of these people, they say the same thing you're saying, that he is a good player. He's going to be a good player. He just wasn't for us, right? And I just think he was so polarizing that, that it had kind of reached that threshold of like being able to come back from it, right? Like you either going to have to be super have to say you were completely wrong, or just kind of say, hey, look, that was kind of what I was saying the whole time is what we ended up figuring out, like you just.
Yes, sir.
Very interesting.
I'm still excited for Jalen's career. I mean, I don't.
I'll be watching. I'll be.
My kid was talking about this, asking me about. He's like, it's Jalen, man. Don't you sad? I'm like, well, really and truly, Jalen kind of got it well too, right? Like we paid him, right? Like he got $33 million a year, and we shipped him off with that. We could have shipped him off without paying him. That would have been so much worse for him.
Fight for himself out there. Yeah, that'd have been crazy.
Right now, if he would have been traded out and at the $12 million and trying to make his number in a restricted year, it would have been just very difficult for him, especially, if the restricted offers don't come in, right? So I'm happy the way it worked out, right? Like we were able to get KD. Jalen can say he was traded for Kevin Durant, right? Like that's worse.
Is that what he's saying? He got traded for KD.
That's what he said in that video with Dre.
So there's this relative. I think that he's on that Zach LaVine career path as far as like just how that pans off. Not as far as like stats and success. He may reach that point, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to the guy, okay? But I'm saying that I don't know I don't remember what the Timberwolves got back for trading out Zach LaVine, but I feel like we even outdid that particular trade. You know what I mean? And getting KD back, right? So I mean, if he goes down that route, like you said, he got traded for a good player. He's on a team that I think he will be able to learn from a guy who happened to go through the same situation that he was in Houston, right? Like Booker's first 4 or 5 years were not good. Though he was successful as a scorer, he was not a winner. So he's going to go down there. He's going to have opportunity to play. And rather he's traded at the deadline or moved on somewhere else, like he will find a way to be a better player. And I think that is I told you earlier, 20 to 22 points per game. And maybe more, he may be even better than that.
I'd argue that
he traded us for 50 one time, maybe 70. Watch.
If you could get him to learn from Booker and trade Booker for a haul, then you've rebuilt pretty much Booker.
Right, exactly. And I think that they can bet on that. Man, that's a fucking great point, Chris. If you get any, like 80% of Booker, you know what I mean, from scoring from him, you can then flip Booker for something else, and it makes sense, though. You know what I mean? Even if it's back to Houston. You know what I mean? If you want to get us, we'll take it. But
you get your pick back.
Yeah, but that is something that I agree thoroughly. Yeah, I agree thoroughly.
I know the tea leaves are there, and we probably can save the topic for another episode next week. But what does a realistic Giannis trade look like for the Houston?
It starts with Şengün.
I know that, but what else would you have to give up player wise?
Shingun, Cam, and Reed.
Yep.
Okay.
That's the basis. You know. And
Do
then
you think they ask for Tari, and do you give it?
they're gonna ask for it. You don't have to give it. They're gonna ask for either. Well, you can't trade Jabari now, but they're gonna ask for it for sure.
So who starts at center
Think of
for?
something.
Well, the unique thing about it is that you can play Giannis at center in an Ime defense, but you don't have to always do it. So the starting five is going to be either Steven or Clint, but the rotation is going to end up being KD and Giannis playing at 4 and 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like that, casualties have been
Man,
can behave.
And guess what, AK? If we
Now
come,
we really
if we
want
come out of this with 2 or 3 championships,
I'm not gonna be mad. That's what the hell I
No,
want.
you don't get to have it both ways.
What am I having? I want.
bro.
What have I been saying? I want this damn ring. I want to take my nieces and nephews to the damn parade before they get too old.
Jalen.
Preston, you want to fly
I ain't say I don't say don't do that, bro.
That boy
Don't
hedging
even do
right
that.
now, bro. That boy hedging right now. That's all. He want to be right so bad.
What I'm hedging on? Okay, hold on. What I'm hedging on?
Hashtag.
Yeah, you know, you heard
What
what he said.
Let me know what I'm hedging on.
You can't say it's a casualty if we got a MVP, fam. Like that's just
See you doing the same thing that these dudes on Twitter be doing. I'm presenting the information. It's both sides. The good part, we got KD. This is the risk. The risk is you may have to give up some other stuff if you're not winning the way you need to win. That's the only thing I'm doing. But y'all looking at it one way or the other because y'all used to doing that arguing thing. Well, I gotta be right. All right, be right. You right then. I'm hedging. I'm hedging. I'm hedging.
You're doing exactly what he's saying.
I'm presenting the information.
You're your bet to always say I'm gonna be right on anything.
No, I'm presenting the damn information. What did I say that was incorrect?
Okay, let's just slow down for a second. I just want you to know you started off by saying the casualties would be if we don't win the championship.
Yeah, if we don't win, these dudes will be gone.
Now you're saying that because we're in win now mode, right? We're gonna trade for Giannis, and that would be a casualty.
No, that's not what I'm saying. Maybe I'm presenting it wrong. That's not what I'm saying.
Okay.
My thing has always been after year one, because everybody is saying that we're gonna all the assets we have today, we will still have next year, the year after, and the year after. That's not realistic if you don't win in year one. That's what I've been saying. That's the whole point. Now, I don't even think that in the Giannis thing, I don't even think that's something that they would want to do immediately in this year one with KD. I don't even know if they would want to do that.
The parity of the league lends itself for the Rockets to just go in and win a championship this year. Like the parity of the league, it's been a different champion for like the last 7-8 years.
And that's cool. That's cool. But don't misunderstand me. I am talking about after year one. I'm not talking about whatever they do in the year one is what they're gonna do. If they decide they want to go all in,
you're talking about a Giannis trade now. You're talking about a Giannis trade
right now. No, I wasn't thinking that they're gonna do it right now. I don't think they would do the Giannis trade that right now. No. See, that's what I'm saying. That's break down the communication. See what I'm saying?
I got you. Okay.
I said after year one, we don't win a championship. There will be casualties. It has to be
expanding this trade. Maybe I'm tripping. Chris, you were talking about expanding this trade, and because the Shingun, so forth, right? Like it would require us to trade Shingun, Cam, Reed, Jock, and some picks to get Giannis for this year, correct?
What I don't,
money wise, for sure.
What I don't want is us to make a mid-season trade and us trying to figure it all out, like trading Shingun.
Nah, that's good GM and AD. You can't say that, bro. You got to do that.
If it's on the table to be had,
yeah, you got to do that.
You can't really just say no, bro.
Giannis specifically, is there anybody else that you'd be looking at that Giannis level? That maybe
boy.
Be like, hey.
As a matter of fact,
the Clippers got Brook Lopez. So is that the domino that puts?
Lakers are losing the offseason so far.
Hey, listen. It is more important for the Lakers to lose than the Rockets to win.
Hold on, Chris. Hold on, Chris. What were you saying? Is that the domino for what?
Giannis.
Oh, okay. For who?
Because if he's sitting back waiting now, there are other free agents.
Oh, yeah, his team is getting weaker. Yeah.
Correct. They re-signed Portis, but
and KPJ.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on if they have a backup center option because Brooks wasn't all that good for them anyway last year. So
he was okay at doing what they needed at a minimum level. I'm not saying it's great.
Maybe it's Horford.
For the money, for the money.
But they don't have the money to bring in Horford. Who would they have to get rid of? bring in Horford.
Who they spending
Hold
money
on.
They're-
on?
they're-
Hey,
You
they
talking about
spending
LA?
50 on Dame. They
I'm
spending
talking
50 on
about.
Oh,
Giannis.
Dame.
23.
Oh,
You talking about Milwaukee? I was
Yeah,
confused for a
Milwaukee
second.
switched his
And-
second
Yeah,
apron.
he's hurt all.
And they still got
yeah.
25 or 23 on Kuzma too.
Yeah,
So between the two, that's
Ew.
125 right there.
Yeah.
Minimum.
That was a
They
horrible
spend it.
play
Yeah.
to get Kuzma.
so
They
they're
don't have money.
switching apron too.
maybe
Yeah.
it's a shift. I mean, you can put Portis plays the 5, but he plays the 4 too. So Portis at the 5, Giannis 4. You got Kuzma still, Dame, and KPJ. I don't know.
Dame hurt his ACL.
Dame's out all
So
this
he
year.
done.
Dame
Or he
out
tore his
for-
Achilles. I'm sorry.
Achilles,
He tore
right?
his
Yeah.
Achilles in the playoffs. Yeah, so he done for a while.
And that's another point. I know we had brought up James Wiseman, but before we got Capella, he's out. And he's another Achilles victim.
It happened early though. He'd be back mid-season. It
Yeah,
happened like
is he ready
3
to
or 4
play?
days.
So are the Bucks?
Hey,
what-
they can
what
go
are the
get
Bucks
Bol
doing?
Bol. We can't get them no more, but they can get Bol Bol. Baby.
Oh man.
Would you rather have Bobo though over
What is Bol Bol like Nigerian? What is he? He probably
So
like
he's Sudanese.
he the Sudanese Wemby, baby.
the one I'd have looked into would have been the Josh Minot.
Okay, that's midnight. Yeah, I like that one.
He'd have been one to be looking at, especially with Ivy. You probably could have got him at a cheap discount, and he'd have been one that, just like the Capella deal, you don't have to play him all the time. He'd be almost like a project. He's young.
Yeah.
Are we
he's
looking to
free
take
agent.
on projects because we barely developed?
Well, you know,
players last
No,
year?
no more projects.
You know
There's
what
no
I mean?
projects
Yeah.
under KD.
I don't-
There's no projects.
I think the Capella move is so that Ime has all the viable ways to play. Like now we can play any which way you want him to
Yes.
play, right?
Yep.
Like it's just the ability
You sure?
to kind
If
of
he's
Yes,
not part of the
yes,
final
AK,
trade.
we're sure.
Nah. Because I'm thinking like we got to think realistically. If Ben Thompson has to miss a couple weeks, how that's gonna look?
Yeah, we
Fred,
argued this. I
Tari-
argued this big time.
Tari can give you
Anybody
some too
goes
as well.
down.
He can't.
Anybody goes down in this roster, we start to get slack real quick in a lot of different ways. If Amen goes down, we don't have enough ball handling.
Well,
If Fred goes down,
I think the misconception is like the only person that will hurt our wins will be KD at this point. You know what I'm saying? So we can still win games without any of the other players, even Şengün at this point. So
What about Fred?
Boston
If
got
Fred
this-
goes
even,
down,
even without Fred, we can win games. I think so.
yeah, absolutely.
Boston
who
got
is
this
moving
seven.
the ball like just respectfully? Who is playmaking at that level with that level of ball handling?
It would have to be a post dominant, so you have to go a lot more through Şengün and getting it to KD, but you just wouldn't have like that guard handling unless it was a man, right? Or Reed would have to step up. But the point is that you could win, like winning games and winning a series is different, or having a winning record is different, right? So if Fred was out for 15 games, KD could win you 10 of those. You know what I'm saying? Just without Fred. But would you want to put that load on them for the whole season? Nah.
I don't know because I just watched them struggle in Phoenix. Now I know the teams are completely different, but they didn't have
Way different, yeah.
that playmaker.
They had more spacing.
But they kept him 500 though with KD. Like he was winning.
But they were a bad defensive team too. They was
Sure.
Terrible.
Again, I understand.
awful.
But my point being, and I hear you, D. I think regardless, I think we were the better team. Obviously, we were second seed for a reason. But looking at it this way, if Fred goes down, we saw how mightily the team struggled without Fred. Simply from a playmaking, not saying overall, just from a playmaking.
Other players was out too though.
And sure, other players were out too, right? It was quite the injury-prone area there. But then we look back to the season before, when it was year one Fred. When Fred went down around that area, it was, hey, Jalen, please score 35.
Yeah, but I'm saying those
You know what I
were very different constructed teams. You have a KD now.
Sure.
That
Okay.
27.
If you're confident with that, I'm not saying that
That's
you're
an
wrong.
MVP, yeah.
But
okay.
sure. Okay.
Yeah, I promise you,
Listen,
yeah.
Okay.
My question is this: as far as starting lineups, we're assuming that the front court is going to be KD, Bari, Şengün. Them three guys kind of sort of operate in the same area, kind of sort of.
KD, Bari, and Şengün. I got you.
Yeah.
can
Like
say that.
how do we expect this to look?
Hey, Chris, you said that KD is viewed as a guard in your mind in this construction.
No. Hey, matter of fact, Ben DeBose said it on his in the logger line. He just said that everything that he's hearing coming out of Houston, they're just treating KD more as a 2 in this case.
Okay. So, I mean, I think that, if I could find a way to put it in words, I think that we have a roster construction that everyone's not really in a traditional position.
Okay.
It really is like a positionless roster at this point. So you can have a man and KD on the court together with a Jabari Shingun, and like the only place that you would need spacing or isolation is wherever you're placing Amin Thompson at, and wherever Shingun is getting his stuff on the block, right? And I think everything else is kind of you can kind of shift around. So if KD is the guard, I mean, he's gonna sit at the.
I got some news.
Go ahead.
Nikhil Alexander-Walker signed a 4-year, $60 million deal with Atlanta.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
That's
like
cute.
that.
He's going to the Celtics, so the Celtics just.
Yeah, I figured he'd go somewhere where he's gonna get some playing time because obviously, a guy like
Is
that,
Is no.
he's gonna get more than he get in Houston.
Yeah.
He's gonna play. He's gonna be more at the two.
I got a question for y'all real quick. We was arguing about in the chat earlier. You think Luke Kennard here? We were looking at the stats, and I think he requires at least 5 threes a game. You think we can get that to him if he comes here? And
I know they were talking to him today for sure.
I'm sorry, what you say, Chris?
Not an Ime's offense.
Yeah,
I don't think he prioritizes it. If he was to prioritize it, you think he would prioritize it with some pin downs.
Oh boy.
I just don't. I mean, when you talk about Reed Shepherd, he has to step up. You talk about Fred, KD's getting them, and Jabbar is getting them. So I don't know how we're going to get 5 to Kennard, but I would like to see him here off the bench.
Yeah, I mean, I
what's the minutes distribution even going to look like?
That's what I'm saying. It's not going to be pretty.
Like, that front court crowded, boy, because Amin Thompson going to be in the front court sometimes too.
Yeah.
That front court is going to be a beast.
Let me say this. We looked at how the OKC minutes were distributed during the season. Could the Rockets kind of play that same kind of role where they play a lot of these guys get valuable minutes during the season because you're going to be winning a lot more games in bigger margins.
I'm not banking on the margin shit though. Somebody said that earlier. I don't think we're going to win by large margins.
You don't think we're blowing dudes
out? I think the parity of the league is going to be lopsided because I think there are going to be a lot more teams trying to tank and figure it out rather than trying to win because of all the injuries. I look at Milwaukee. I think Cal said they're going to start slow. Milwaukee could be a point where Milwaukee's going to say, you know what, let's just shut it down and F it, and we'll figure it out later. And let's trade Giannis or something else or whatever. Then I think specifically the Eastern Conference, dealing with all the injuries that the Eastern Conference has had between Boston, between Indiana, and Milwaukee, you're going to see a lot of the Eastern Conference teams that are very, very beatable. It's going to be lopsided as far as parity. The competition is going to be in the Western Conference, and I think. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. My bad. No, my bad. I'm interrupting you. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying. I think you have teams like the Sacramento, like the bottom of the Western Conference is going to be bad anyway. Like I think the Lakers
put Sacramento in that sense. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean Sacramento is going to be a bad team.
No, they're not going to be good.
What's new?
I mean, well, Phoenix is going to be a bad team.
I think that
probably.
Again, a lot of it is always going to be performance based, and I mean, I reside to that, philosophy in general. So when you look at it, we're going to start the season with the ideology first, kind of like what we did Reed Shepherd to start this season. You're going to see a lot of minutes go to guys that they believe in first, and then after that, depending on how they perform, you're going to see a lot of minutes shift to veterans, which Ime loves the most, right? It's like, I'm going to play veterans more. Now, minutes hold more weight than like saying we're going to put a guy in because we're up by 10 or up by 15 or more. But I think that back-to-backs, we said it earlier, back-to-backs, rest days, like Fred's going to get rest days, Katie's going to get rest days and so forth. And, Steven Adams is going to get them. So you will see a lot more of those strategic kind of like, this guy's getting the day off, et cetera, et cetera. So I think that will play more into effect. What's up, Preston?
Hello, sir. I agree with you. Actually, this is probably the first time on any pod I've ever said I agree with PG.
I thought you were going to break some news, man.
That's a lie. That's a lie. PG know he got a lot. But
I thought you were going to break some news.
Oh,
Aiden to LA.
Who was LA?
Aiden.
Dominating.
Wow. So they ended up getting Aiden.
Yawn.
I think
I'm
they
with
ended
you,
up
AK. I'm with you.
8.
Yeah. I'm
Man.
not too worried, but what I wanted to say was, we talking about resting dudes and whatnot. Off of just pure speculation, how many games do you think we win in this year?
Close to
50,
60.
This for PG. This for PG, man. I'm
55 plus again. This is a 55 win team with a
Okay.
inefficient guard, right? So I mean, we have the same components that made us this.
Mhm.
And I mean, you can claim that maybe 5 of those wins were Dylan Brooks, but you got Finney Smith and you got KD. So I think you're still at that 55. I think that this time it doesn't feel like an overachievement, though. I think
Okay.
it's the type of 55.
You think like expectation is 55?
Expectation is 50, but I think we get 55 off of like, yeah, like this is a team that everything's clicking. You know, we're mostly
Okay.
healthy going into the playoffs. You know,
So we pretty
Let me
much
ask
not really gonna be concerned with like seeding and none of that. I don't expect us to care too much about seeding at
well,
this
we'll
point.
care about seeding because that's Ime's thing. But yeah, go ahead.
Nah,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
was just about to ask that. Do you think that we kind of punt on some more games this year and kind of look playoff heavy, early?
Not because I think seeding matters to Ime a lot. You know what I mean? I think he's kind of said it before in other ways. So, and I think this team, like, they can't play in the West. You can't play around with seeding. So I don't think it's something that's
Yeah.
like we'll figure it out now. Like you want to be top 4 and you want to sit in 2, maybe 1, but 2 and 3.
Okay.
if that's the case, then resting certain guys back to back ain't gonna happen.
Well, but that's why you got the guys you have. Like you can still win and rest. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're fine. Is this a good regular season team though?
I mean,
Yeah, you asking everybody?
Why wouldn't
Yeah,
they?
I
Be?
asked everybody.
Yeah, like why? What would be the reason you don't feel that way? Let me ask that. It's like what would be?
I just feel like it would be better for this to be I think the better option would be to be a playoff heavy thought early, right?
And I don't.
I wouldn't care about seeding, and I would try to have the healthiest squad and the most connected squad coming into the
Right.
playoffs.
Well, let's look at the pros and cons. Let's look at both sides of it. Let's look at the pros and the cons.
I don't disagree, but and I think these are good points, very, very detailed points that we'll talk about throughout the season. It's going to be super fun. But let's bring up like the first 30 games of Tari Eason. You remember how like he played backyard, high effort, just rudimentary, like it was just crazy. And because he got injured, it kind of messed up a lot of his kind of like how it panned out for the rest of the season. So if you're talking about it from that point, that's where again the rest days come into play. But that's why you have to have depth. You know what I mean? Like that's where
coming at you. Killer Cam coming at you real quick.
Killer Cal still mad we traded Jalen.
yeah, like I'm not talking to Cal, bro. Like, come on. But the point is like, like if you have Dorian Finney, you have Tate, you have Holiday, you can win games rotating, cycling guys out, as in like Fred takes some days off and Holiday plays. There's going to be some rest days for KD. You have Clint now, so Steven Adams get rest day. Like it's gonna fit. But I now when you say it that way, I understand why you ask it because like when you going at such an intense level of defense and level of play that hindered us. If you look at what happened to Tari last season, so I get it. I don't think that we wouldn't be a good seasonal team though. You know what I'm saying? In season team. I think they want to win the cup. I think they want to win games, so they're gonna be strategic in how they approach that.
I'd be fair.
Let's look at
right. Like all these guys have had sustained long injuries in their careers. I mean, we're coming off Atari, Bari, you name it, man. Amen.
You don't want to mess that up though, Chris. Like that mindset, like bro, that you fuck around and you 30 wins mid-season, like you know what I mean? Like,
but we're looking at it.
We 60.
True, but I'm saying like that's that. Like it's not like okay. That's competency is what I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like it is a level to it that like but our 30 wins when we got it this season, we got ahead of the curve by like I want to say 8 to 10 wins, and it was like as long as we maintain this pace, we're good. But like 30 wins mid-season, and then we're dealing with fatigue and injuries. Like, bro, that's not like shit can go bad fast. You go on a 10-game losing streak, which we almost hit February this year. Like, bro, like
that's what I was gonna bring up. Like, because there's ebbs and flows through the season. Like, what if the start is a little slower than we want,
Right.
Or what if the start is a little faster than we expect?
Well, we had
Does that change the calculus along the way?
I will say this though, I don't think that there's going to be a double-digit difference between the number 1 and number 2 seed again this year. Upcoming.
Yeah, I don't think that.
I don't think that. I think the Oklahoma
Okay,
City.
so you're talking about?
Yeah, I think they were a good team. I think they won a championship. They, were champions. I don't think they're going to repeat and win 66. What they won 66,
68.
67,
They won
68. They're
67.
not going to win 68 games next year.
Yeah, 68.
With that, like a quarter of the league hurt with Achilles injuries to start the year. I don't know
East
about
is
that.
wide
That's in the
open.
East, though, huh?
That's in
I
the
think
East.
most of them in the
I'm
East.
gonna say this. I
Kyrie,
don't wish bad on nothing. I mean, but that time is coming for SGA.
Chill, motherfucker. Chill, bro.
oh,
Dark. This is a dark rundown, bro. I mean, hey, to be fair, OKC dealt with injuries too. Like, that's not like remove that from the equation. This is a good year for them and how they won. Like, they won with a injured Chet, and
Caruso was hurt for a little bit too.
Yeah, and Caruso, right? So I don't want to like remove that from their legacy as well. Though it's still F them guys. I think injuries are part of the game, so it's gonna happen. And I think we're building a roster that can kind of mitigate a lot of those injuries at this current,
and win in different ways. Like
and win in
OKC.
different ways. Yeah.
The Walker,
So let's talk about the different ways.
the Nikhil Alexander Walker trade was a signing trade.
Who they get? Or just picks or something?
Second round
Yeah, they
picks.
sent second round picks in cash.
Second round picks and cash. Yeah.
What a steal for the Hog.
So we're gonna talk about these different ways to win, and we're gonna say that for another episode.
Tyus Jones is with the Magic.
Really? Not the
Interesting.
Knicks? That was crazy.
Interesting.
I don't like that for Tyus.
Yeah, 1 year, $7 million.
Damn.
Still ain't got his
Nice.
money.
Still ain't got his money.
AK,
He's a
to answer your
Schroeder now,
question-
ain't he?
So
Didn't
yeah, I'll answer too whenever you go.
Yeah, well, I was actually getting ready to end it here at 7:20. I think maybe some of us are tired. I'm not gonna name names, aka me, but some of us we got bigger and better things to do. Hey. But
Shout out to the 520 in the chat. I mean, watching live, man.
Hey.
PG, you want to get that off real quick, and then I feel like
I
this
would
be
just
a
say
good
that
spot.
I would just say that a lot of the markups will be it will be easy as long as KD gives you that 27. I think that a lot of what you will see as far as variances is how much Amin Thompson gives you in his role, whether that's 20, 18, 15, whatever it may be. And I think Jabari made promises too in saying that he can give you a different look this season. So I think when you talk about a wing heavy lineup, Tari, Jabari, Finney Smith, and the way that Ime likes to play basketball, I think will put a lot of pressure on teams. But as far as scoring is concerned, you're gonna have to rely on Fred. You're gonna have to rely on Amin, Şengün, and Kevin Durant to give you that. And I think again, this is a new level. Now that you have the MVP, a new level of you, but always us. You know what I mean? Could be you, could be you.
That was a Dylan Brooks slogan. That was all for him and him alone.
For sure. But the point is, like, we now have one guy who makes up a lot of what you're missing in Dylan Brooks and Jalen Green. So
yeah,
it's not just the way that we can attack other teams. It's like they would have to just live with Fred going off and hope that like they can isolate that part of the game. But the problem is that because Şengün is so dominant in his role and because Kevin Durant is so dominant in his role, most nights should be easier for us. Just off of that alone, you know what I mean? And then everything else just falls in place.
Interesting. Good way to end it off, boys. I appreciate all 521 of you live viewers right now. And all 520 of you, why are you not subscribed to the YouTube channel at H-Time Rundown? Y'all goofy talking in the chat. Got a lot to say, talking a lot of shit to a lot of us here right now, especially in my DMs right now. Y'all need to calm down. No follow. Go follow the account. We had 678 viewers or 678 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Check that out. I appreciate everyone jumping on here. PG, man, a blast to have you on, honestly. It's always good at this time. Where can we find you, man?
You can always find me on X at Earl of God, always talking a bunch of shit and smack combined. I enjoy being here with you guys every time I come through. I also oftentimes with Clutch on playback, watching the games live. I'll be with AD watching them live this year as well. But just check me out. Get in touch with me anytime. Always ready to talk shit and shoot back. So
Yeah, if you aiming the gun, be ready for another one aimed back. The show. Shout out Ja. AD man, appreciate you jumping on, man. It's always good to have the actual man of the hour here. Where can we find you, brother?
Right here at the H-Town Rundown, man. Just go ahead and follow the H-Town Rundown. Do what you do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. AP Rockets Round Robin member, man. Thank you for jumping on. Where can we find you, my man?
Man, you can find me on X at Rocket King AP, the Round Robin, Instagram, Facebook. Man, what a crazy day one of the offseason.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to have you, man. Clip, appreciate you jumping on. Rockets Round Robin member. Where can I find you, sir?
Man, if you don't know where to find me already, what's wrong with you?
Valid question.
You guys having me, man. I always have a blast on here.
Yeah, it's always a blast. It's always a blast. We appreciate you, Clip. Donte, my brother in arms. PG, Donte and I really been holding it down for H-Town Rundown, especially since Smiley was here. And now we actually have a winning and it's finally good to talk winning Rockets basketball. Coach Donte, where can we find you, man?
Hey, appreciate y'all having me on, man. I believe, much as I wanted Jay Sean Tate to be gone, but it seemed like he it seemed like he gonna.
We didn't have to talk about him. We didn't have to talk about him.
But
That's how you Donis Haslam.
He may be retiring as a Rocket, but I believe him and Jabari Smith are the only two people on this team. I mean, Alp is a part of still the era that AK Homeboy.
Hey, don't do that, bro. That ain't my homie. That ain't my homie at all. Nah.
Y'all can find me right here on the H-Town Rundown. Y'all can also find me at That Rock Is Gone Twitter, Coach Donte 5 on IG and all of that. Y'all find me right here too. So yeah, just start to the Rocket.
Yes, sir. And last but not least, AK, man. Thank you for jumping on. Rockets Rundown, my member here. Where can I find you? Dang, he gone. Look at that.
Oh,
get out of there.
Wow.
You can't get your Steven
Hey, man, it's Ron's fault, man.
And y'all racist as hell, dog.
Where can we find you, sir, AK?
You can find me on Twitter /X at AKinfinity_VVS, also on YouTube at the Rockets Propaganda channel and the Rockets Round Robin channel. Theories will be tested and proof of concept is on the way. Let's get this chip. I need to take my little nieces and nephews to a parade. That's all I want. I ain't asking too much.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening to another weekly episode of the H-Town Rundown, Houston Rockets basketball podcast. Be sure to follow the H-Town Rundown at the H-Town Rundown on X, YouTube, as well as Instagram. Check it all out. And we got a website, man. We got the website, baby. We do articles, man. We just broke the KD news. We got another article coming about DFS here soon, so check it out. Be ready. Be ready. But with that, I bid you adieu.